And you, Lord Farquaad?
asked the king of Gibeon.
What is your take on this?
Farquaad sighed deep before answering.
Indeed, my lord, I am afraid that this time Prince Charming is right.
I am?
Asked Charming, surprised.
He is?
Asked King Harold. His charming but dense son was seldom right about anything.
For sure, your majesty.
Lord Farquaad continued.
If we don't strike a deal with these Israelites soon, they will come and destroy our city.
But how?
Insisted the proud king.
We're one of the strongest cities in all of Canaan.
Lord Farquaad held out his wine glass to the butler for a refill before answering the king.
Your majesty, surely the kings of Jericho and I thought that they were strong enough to stand against Israel.
Farquaad stood up and walked to the window.
Alas, if they could not stand against the God of Israel, then Gibeon do not stand a chance either.
With tears in his eyes, Prince Charming knelt down next to his dad and said,
Papa, please listen to us.
He wiped his nose with the king's sleeve and cried,
We beg of you.
Yuck.
said King Harold, pulling away his arm.
Charming, my boy. Get up and blow your nose somewhere else.
Shaking goo from his sleeve, the king said to his royal advisor,
All right, Farquaad. Tell me what you have in mind.
Farquaad whipped out his laptop and shared his snazzy presentation to the courtroom's big screen.
I say,
Farquaad began.
we sent 2 of our most trusted men to strike a peace deal with Israel, ASAP.
Prince Charming looked puzzled.
But why would they make peace with us? I thought they wanted to take our land.
Good point.
Said King Harold, surprised again. Lord Farquaad gave a sneaky smile.
They will not know where we came from. That's the trick.
Showing the next slide, he explained.
Our trusty men will carry old, mouldy bread and battered wineskins on their noble steed. That way, the leaders of Israel will think that they came from a place far, far away.
Splendid.
Said the king.
Genius.
Said Prince Charming, even though he still did not quite understand the plan.
A story could change my life. A story could fill my dreams with light. Tell me a good true story. Please tell me a bedtime story.
It was dusk, still about an hour to sunrise. 3 men and a donkey came up the road to Israel's camp.
Who goes there?
Barked an Israelite guard,
We 3 men of Orient are.
saying the big bulky one in the front.
Seeking peace, we traveled so far.
Joined the funny furry one in harmony.
Oh, nice.
Said the guard.
I like that Christmas song too.
Turning around, he ordered.
Follow me. All strangers must report to Josh and the commanders.
The guard led the 3 strangers with their loaded donkey a couple of 100 meters to a big red tent standing in the middle of Israel's camp.
Wait here.
He said, and then popped his head into the tent.
Josh, I've got 3 strangers out here named something, something, and something from somewhere. You want to talk to them?
Josh shook his head and did not look impressed, but just said,
All right, send them in.
The guard opened the tent flap wide and waved in the strangers and the donkey. As Josh stood up to meet them, he was joined by James and Bond, his trusty sidekicks.
Howdy, strangers.
Greeted Josh.
Let's make this quick. Who are you and where are you from?
The big bulky one started to sing in reply.
God rest you, merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay.
No, wait, buddy.
Bond interrupted.
Don't beat around the bush, okay? We don't want a whole sing-song. Just tell us who you are and where you came from.
Sir.
The tiny one took a frightened step forward and said,
I'm Sir Ginger, and this here is my trusty companions, Sir Puss and Sir Shrek.
He bowed and waved at the other 2. Then went on.
We are from a land far, far away.
Really?
Asked Josh.
Really?
Said Sir Shrek.
We've heard of the great things your God has done for you,
Sir Ginger continued.
and so we came to make peace with you.
Josh, James and Bond looked at one another. Something about these chaps just didn't feel right.
How do we know that you guys aren't from around here?
Bond asked.
what if we make peace with you and then find out that you live in one of these cities we are about to take for ourselves?
Sir Puss put one hand on the donkey's back and said with a sad voice,
Please, gentlemen, we give you our word of honor.
Then he opened one of the leather bags hanging over the donkey.
But if you will not believe us, take a look at the bread we brought with us on our noble steed. It was baked fresh on the day we left our homes, and now see how dry and moldy it is already.
Josh and his sidekicks took a closer look, and, sure enough, the bread was some weeks old already.
Looks legit,
whispered Josh.
And see here,
Sir Puss said again.
We took fresh wine for our long journey, but now it's long past the expiry date already.
Josh and the men checked it out, and yep, that wine was not lacquer anymore. Sir Puss was doing a great job. He practiced this speech in front of the mirror a few times already, and he could feel that he was nailing it.
So you see, dear men, we are not liars,
he said as he wiped a tear from his eye.
We are friends from far, far away, looking to make peace with you, a brother from another mother.
It was an epic speech. Sir Puss was the bomb. Shrek and Ginger nearly started to clap their hands, but they stopped themselves just in time.
Alright, sir.
Josh started after looking into the eyes of the men around him.
We believe you, and we will make peace with you and your far, far away people.
The handshake was a major flop. They decided without asking God about it, and that was a mistake. A very big mistake. Sure enough, before the earth could take another lap around the sun, news came back from Gibeon.
It was a lie, Josh.
What are you saying, James?
It was a lie.
The young spy looked angry.
Those 3 men and their donkey, they were not from far, far away at all.
Josh jumped up, and so did Bond.
Not?
Bond barked.
Where did they come from then?
When they left yesterday, I told the young lad to follow them secretly.
James explained.
And?
Josh prompted.
And they came from Gibeon.
From Gibeon?
Yup,
Said James.
Gibeon. They live only half a day's walk from here.
Bond lost his temper, threw down the mug in his hand, and grabbed the sword and shield.
Let's go wipe out those liars.
The big man marched out the tent door, but Josh grabbed his arm and calmed him down.
No, big fella. Cool your jets now.
Wiping his hand over his face, Josh sat down.
We can't fight against them.
What?
Shouted both James and Bond, and then James clicked.
Oh, drat. I'll promise.
Yep,
Said Josh.
I'll promise.
Bond didn't see it that way yet. He was angry and ready to teach those sneaky buffoons a big lesson.
But our promise doesn't mean anything, Josh.
He shouted.
They lied to us, didn't they?
Josh kept his cool.
Yes, they did, Bond. But we will not lie to them, right?
That caught Bond off guard.
Yeah, I guess you're right, Josh.
James saw it.
You're right, Josh. Just because they lied doesn't mean we can break our promise.
Nope,
Said Josh.
for that will make us liars too.
Josh walked out of the tent and commanded one of the priests to blow a trumpet for a special meeting. When everyone was standing in front of Joshua, he humbly said,
People of Israel, I am sorry.
Huh?
Said Red Hair to Big Nose.
Sorry for what?
Josh went on.
I messed up.
Messed up?
Said Big Nose to Pointy Ears.
How?
I made a big decision without speaking to God about it first.
Josh said.
It was a mega boo-boo. Please forgive me.
Some Israelites were really miffed with Josh about the deal they made with the Gibeonites. Just like Bond, they thought that they could just forget about their promise and beat them up anyway. But eventually, everyone agreed that they will honor the promise. From that day on, the people of Gibeon became woodcutters and water carriers for the Israelites.